All right. And this episode, I think the meme says it all pretty much here. We're going to be talking about Jade Cargill's and her leaving of AEW, or here it is right here, AEW, and then going down to WWE. So stay with me here, and we're going to talk about this in this Kayfabe Chronicles episode. Welcome to Bad Guy Wrestling. So today in this video we're going to be talking about Jade Cargill and maybe maybe this is the writing on the wall for some other future convertees or people who are going to leave for WWE from AEW. So let's get into this here. And if you haven't already, I got my social media there to like and subscribe if you want to hear more. So anyway, a couple weeks ago, Jade Cargill had her last match on AEW, where she cleanly lost the title to Chris Statlander, who has been back for a month now or something like that, month, maybe two at most. Yeah, probably more like two. So before this, little background on there. Cargill was 50 and 51 and 0 or something like that. I believe it's beat Statlander in the past, and Statlander was doing the alien gimmick still. Goes away for a while. Was it injury? I don't remember this point. But a while back here at what was it? All in, or is it All Out? I think it was All Out. I don't know. There's a lot of I don't knows just because of the names being similar and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, she returns from injury for an open challenge after the match with Cargill and Taya Valkyrie. Valkyrie takes her to the limit, and then Jade still beats her. And then afterwards, we have an open challenge, not expecting it to be like some sort of scrub or job or something like that. Because let's be real, 90% of Cargill's career in AEW was against unknown talent or lesser talent. So she ends up cakewalking or just squashing the match here. But no, Chris Statlander makes a return. Pretty short match actually. And wins the title. Then Cargill's gone for a while. So first thoughts were that she was injured or something like that. I hadn't been following her contract situation. So my thought was probably that they were dropping the belt so that she could go basically, because she had been a lot on Rampage, so that she could be a Dynamite or Collision full time. And that was the thought, but then all the reports of her contract being up, and then eventually, that week beforehand, they have their rematch. That is Cargill and Chris Statlander, and this time it's another clean finish. It is really a handoff. That was kind of the writing on the wall that this is Cargill's last time in AEW, at least for now. So then again, all said and done, she shakes hand, walks away. Smart Mark is looking like, oh my gosh, because he doesn't know whose new client's gonna be because she's out the door. So who's it gonna be? Still Tony Nese, like the guy who doesn't even get airtime unless it's on Dark or something. But she's gone, and like here's the thing with WWE is like before, we don't want to acknowledge anything even with AEW, but this is one of the first times, or this probably is the first time a wrestler is getting poached from AEW to go to WWE and not the other way around. And let's be real, a lot of the poaching on AEW side has kind of been with people that are falling outs or were older, on their way out anyway. So first analysis is like, who's the winner here? Well, obviously the winner is WWE. Jade Cargill is going to be physically, she is very large, muscular, athletic. She has a good look on it. She embraces kind of like the look of like, standing out, which is good for a wrestler. So looks wise, she has it down. She looks good. She's in incredible shape. She's strong. She's athletic. She fits the build of a dominant female wrestler. I mean, if you aren't thinking it, maybe you should, as far as like, it's not to that level of physique or just how big she is, but like kind of like that China kind of aspect of it. She could legit come in, and I don't know if she's bigger than Raquel Rodriguez. Probably not, but I mean, as far as the look though, she could easily be a top star and look slim. Her in-ring ability is not that's what needs the most developing. Followed by the theatrics of wrestling, the promos and things like that. And that's not to say that she's not good at it. I mean, I can remember her line, "Cut the crap, Tony," and stuff like that. So it's not that she kept it short and sweet on her promos in AEW, so she just needs a little development more. Don't fall into those bad habits that just to ramble on, that a lot of the other wrestlers do. But let's get back to the in-ring performance. That's her matches were short. They got longer as they went, and there was steady progress. So while she might not be that title holder in WWE at this point, I mean, I could imagine things changing very fast. I mean, look at Dominic Mysterio. Duke rarely wrestled on this level when making his debut. He was a tag champion with his dad, Rey Mysterio, before they had their falling out and just continuous storyline there. So it's kind of evidence that you don't always have to be an amazing wrestler to be the champion. In fact, sometimes it doesn't have anything to do with it. So if she can just keep developing, I mean, she'll eventually get there. She's showing progress every match. So the real question now is, where does she go? Is it NXT? Is it SmackDown? Is it Raw? That's the big question here. I mean, first thoughts would be NXT, and I'm not the biggest fan of NXT, but I kind of think that she's already past that just on name alone. She doesn't need to develop in that sense. She has a gimmick. She has a look. She's this over the top athlete that is also, a baddie. That's what remember her baddie section in AEW. So she has a look. She's kind of aligned with like pop culture, hip hop culture, that type of thing. She's an athlete, weight trainer, that type of thing. That she could easily be like an Instagram model. Maybe she was before this or something like that, because this is her first wrestling experience here. But let's take a look at some of the rosters. So I pulled up some of the rosters here, and I want to see Raw here. So we have Becky Lynch, who has the NXT title right now. Let's see, we got Candice LeRae, Chelsea Green, Chelsea, as they announce on there. Let's see here. Indy Hartwell, Jackie Redmond, Katana Chance, Kaden Carter tag team, Liv Morgan, Maxine Dupree, Natalya, Nia Jax, Piper Niven, Raquel Rodriguez, Rhea Ripley, Ronda Rousey, I guess for now, and just keep going through here. I mean, if there's anybody else here that really stands out, besides Zoe Stark and Trish Stratus and Valhalla, Xia Li. So this could be a really good fit. I mean, what we're looking at here, top talent-wise, is Becky Lynch here, and Liv Morgan, Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez, and then Rhea Ripley as the champion here. So they need help. They need a little bit more here. So I could see that being a great fit right there. Let's look at SmackDown here. Alba Fire, Asuka. So Asuka, we got a top kind of star in Asuka. Bailey, Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair. I mean, look, like we're already kind of getting up here. Io Sky. I mean, let's not forget, her as well. obviously with her championship pedigree now. So yeah, the obvious choice for me is then Raw. I think that's where she should go. And in fact, I think she could do well here with a couple small feuds, then leading up to eventually some sort of title shot within it. So, I mean, Rhea Ripley's had the title since what, WrestleMania, which I was there. That was awesome. So, I mean, we're past SummerSlam. Her title run's going to come to an end eventually. I mean, one of my ideas would be to just have her hold on to it until maybe the end of the year or something like that, until Cargill gets some time in here, some real time. And then that'll also be a testing point. See if she's ready, see if there. I don't see NXT as being the show for her. She's too big. I think that's a way to squash her. Barrier, whatever term you want to use. I think that's what would most likely happen then. And so, obviously we can't be doing that. This is wrestling. We got to make money, and Raw needs some help. I mean, your WWE Women's Champion is Io Sky, and then your Women's World Championship is Rhea Ripley. So on that hand, if it isn't going to be Rhea Ripley dropping it off to her or to somebody else and then eventually her, I could see. I mean, she could beat Io Sky, even right now, name alone. And remember, this is wrestling; they can do whatever they want. So, I mean, Cody Rhodes still doesn't have the belt, so it's probably going to be 3 years in the making for him to get the belt off of Roman Reigns. So, yeah, but one of the final things. So let's start wrapping this up in here. And my final thoughts is this is a huge win for WWE, and that's so strange to say because them picking up a free agent wrestler. I mean, in the back of the day, it would have been obvious. Of course, you go to WWE, but now there's options. I mean, you just saw Edge, Adam Copeland going to AEW. I mean, it just could be a fallout. I mean, you had Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, who's gone now. I mean, who are some of the other guys that come? The Hardys, Jericho, but that's I'm not even going to call him leaving for AEW because he was one of the founders for that. And so the big loss for AEW. This is one of their first big losses as far as talent leaving, besides CM Punk, which was so dumb, just shooting themselves in the foot. Shouldn't have ever got to that place. So some of the parallels here that are going to draw the bidding war of 2024. It's hard to imagine, even right now, in some of the moves that they're doing with the champ, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, that he's going to stick around. Next year comes around, his contract's up. I mean, we're going to have some evidence here soon about what WWE plans to do with guys. I mean, you already got Cody Rhodes back, so I didn't include Cody Rhodes in my thoughts just because he was a WWE guy that left and came. So there is some familiarity there. I mean, we probably should count him as an exodus. You're starting to see that where AEW has built up enough now where their talent is actually going back to WWE, or they're showcasing them in a new light. So MJF, I mean, I gotta say, it doesn't look good for keeping him around. I mean, they're joining this. Maybe he changes his character up. Maybe it's not even a good move, but it's hard to see that it's obviously WWE is watching what AEW is, as much as they don't want to admit it. AEW is watching, and they're getting into that WCW territory now of the newness is gone. What mistakes are we making now? Fiasco with CM Punk. We let Cody Rhodes walk, and now he's a superstar. Where on our show, he was getting booed by the crowd at some point. So wrestlers taking note of that, I'm sure. So, yeah, I like Jade Cargill. I think she was a great talent. I'm going to be happy to watch her. I kind of hope it's on Raw. But I'd be happy with SmackDown too. So, anyways, that's final thoughts on there. Just more mismanagement of AEW where stars are able to lose. It doesn't even. I just don't know how you lose Jade Cargill. I mean, unless she just really didn't want to be there. Here, last part of it. I really thought she was dropping the belt in AEW so that she could go to another show and go after the women's world title there. At the time, it would have been Toni Storm, or now it's Saraya and stuff like that. So, really thought that she was setting up for that. And it just turns out they were having contract dispute, and they just took the belt off of her and then have her walk away. It's like a free agent walking away for nothing. After you just had a CM Punk fall out and lost Cody Rhodes, a year ago, something like that at this point. How could... I don't know. Their management still boggles me. I love the product. Don't get me wrong. I love the product. I watch it probably more consistently than I do WWE. And I love the rawness of it. I love kind of like less of the whole superstar and the more the wrestling and storylines staying within that realm of like, telling good stories. But man, Tony Khan, what are you doing? What are you doing? I know you're a businessman. I know you got the money. You're all going to have more money than I will ever have. But come on, man. What are you doing? Like, your women's division kind of is not that good comparatively to WWE. It's not as good. And hasn't gotten that much better. What are you doing with the talent there? Do people even want to work there? So, yeah. All right, so thanks for checking this out. This has been the Kayfabe Chronicles. This is Jade Cargill goes to WWE episode. So, subscribe for more. That's Bad Guy Wrestling, and I'll check you on the next one. Thanks for watching.